Good evening and welcome to the December 20th, 2017 meeting of the Falmouth Conservation Commission. Our last meeting of
Madam Chair.
Yes, wait. May I speak? Our last meeting of the year. Commissioner Byrd has asked to make a brief opening statement about...
It is traditional that, as a commissioner and being the chief Scrooge on this commission, that I bring coal to give out to appropriate people. The timing couldn't be better. However, I want it to be known that this is not my decision. And I certainly don't want to pass on to anyone coming before this commission who receives this call from me, feels that this in any way would prejudice the decision which I make. The fact of the matter is, there are 13 elves and trolls who live under this table and have been here for the last 20 years, and they indeed have created all sorts of mischief at one time or another with various boards. They once untied the shoes of Selectman Sam Patterson, and so the point is, they seized control of my senses partially tonight, and they are the ones who are telling me when to make this decision. So the only thing I can say is the trolls made me do it.
Perhaps we shouldn't let you vote tonight, Courtney. But thank you. All right.
That was our contribution to the mental
Believe me, there are
wellness.
people who are going to watch this on TV who can't be watching it live right now.
All right. So let's vote on the minutes of December 13th.
I only had 2 corrections. What?
Did you
Add?
get the V zone?
Yeah, the V zone.
Oh, okay.
Not the B zone, the V zone.
Right.
Is that all you had too?
Well, I had some others.
Did you have this one?
I had that one too.
Yep, that
All
one
right.
too.
The word wall is
Wall.
in here.
But
I mean, the
that
word
was the
ball
big
is
one.
in here, it's
That
supposed
was
to be
the big
wall.
one, the V zone.
Hate when that happens.
So
I move that with the changes from the B zone to the V zone, which you have written down, and ball to wall, that we approve it.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, so moved. All right, request for determination, oh, we are doing,
Request for a continuance.
I have the wrong version of the agenda, excuse me. Request for a continuance under an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation. Susan Moran, 390 and 402 Wild Harbor Road, North Falmouth, Massachusetts. Request for confirmation of the following wetland resource area boundaries: BVW freshwater wetland and salt marsh.
Yes, Madam Chairman, the applicant is requesting a continuance until our next available hearing. We do need to go out and meet with the person, the consultant that flagged the wetland. We have some questions. The next available hearing is January 10th, but I don't think we'd be able to meet with them and, get a revised plan to the staff in order to make a recommendation to you by then. So we're recommending January 17th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, so moved. Request for determination of applicability. Excuse me?
Excuse me, Madam Chair. What's the date?
17.
17.
17th.
Chappaquoit Homeowners Association, 545 West Falmouth Highway, West Falmouth, Massachusetts, for permission to pump, fill, and abandon the existing leach pit and install a new Title V sewage disposal system. Jen?
Yes, Madam Chairman, the staff's recommendation is a -2 under the state and bylaw with the resource area boundary is not confirmed.
So move.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, so moved. All right, request for hearings under a notice of intent. Lawrence Murphy, lot, well, I'm going to read this first. All hearings of the Falmouth Conservation Commission are held simultaneously under the authorities of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Falmouth Wetlands Bylaw. Although a single decision of the commission is issued, it represents a separate decision under each authority. So, this is a hearing for Lawrence Murphy, Lot 2 on 212 Hillside Avenue, map 04A-17-000-012, North Falmouth, Massachusetts, for permission to construct a single-family house with attached garage, dry lake patio, connect to town sewer, install utilities, dry wells, gravel driveway, and the associated clearing, excavating, grading, and landscaping. Good evening, Tom.
Good evening. My name is Tom Hockey with DSS Design. Need one of those lumps of coal because I didn't bring the green cards. I'll bring them over later this week.
Yeah,
I'm going to let you off the hook since we don't review them.
don't worry about it, stop.
Okay. So we prepared, DSS Design prepared this plan of Lot 212 Hillside Avenue in North Falmouth in the Silver Beach section of North Falmouth. As you can see, Hillside Avenue is down here to the south of the lot. Actually has frontage on Hillside Avenue. But there is a coastal bank and Rosedale, because there's no, let's say, buildable frontage in this location. And so there is an easement, a 15-foot wide access and utility easement crossing the lot. The lot that has this house here and across the corner of this lot. So they do have access out there for their vehicular traffic, and also this whole area is on the Silver Beach sewer system, and we have here showing a sewer connection up to the sewer main that's in Highland Ave. There will also be, though, there's an easement, a utility easement. The water main was installed some time ago, and there's a hydrant here, and there is an easement for a water service through the back of this other lot into the house, which we can get by the corner there without encroaching on this, the A zone of this coastal bank. So this whole lot, except for a little bit up in the corner, this whole area is in flood zone AE elevation 15. There's a wetland that's on the southwest and west side of the lot wrapped around. That's a big wetland that's in the center of Silver Beach here. And this coastal bank, the wetland is at the base of this coastal bank right through here. The wetland itself has a 50-foot zone A, which wraps around like this. And then the coastal bank, which is right here, due to its proximity to the wetland, has a 50-foot zone A, which wraps around, cuts off the southwest corner of the lot like this. So we've drawn a limit of work along this lot line and then down, and then we follow here for the installation of the water service down this way. I didn't highlight them on here, but the zone Ds are shown on the plan. There's a zone D of the coastal bank runs right through here, so you can see most of the lot is in either over zone A or the remainder is mostly in zone D. The area northeast corner is more than 100 feet from the coastal line. So we have proposed a house in this location. It's centered on the lot this way, a little over 10 feet from each of the east and west lot lines. And a garage in this location, gravel driveway coming in, so we have one parking space here. House coming down, house in a flood zone, it's elevated. The floor is elevation 16, it's 1 foot higher than the flood zone of 15. So anything underneath that is a crawl space, which the crawl space down around elevation 11.7, so it's a 3.5 foot high crawl space underneath the house coming in from right there. And I've shown a little bit of patio there that will, in a case like this, I think a patio is better. It can contain outdoor activity. I have a note that disturbed areas along here will be planted with, all the disturbed areas will be planted with drought tolerant grass seed. This it'll be not mowed here and allow the native shrub vegetation to grow in up against it along this, the wall of the patio in this location. So gain a few more feet of buffered area to the patio. There'll be dry wells all around. Some under, drain the patio into the dry wells also. And as I said, it's on the sewer system, so there's no need for a septic system. This is not a redevelopment project. There's no work in a zone A. Zone A is totally naturally vegetated. So per se, there is no mitigation plan. There's nothing to mitigate. That is what we're proposing. Any questions?
Thanks, Tom. Jen, do you have anything?
I was wondering about the patio. It's going to be elevated, so you're going to have a wall around it.
Well, yes, this double line here is the wall. We have the patio at 14.3, so there are some steps coming down here, and a couple of steps. The ground up at the top here is 13, so a little more than a foot up to the patio. And at this location, the ground is 11 and a half or so there's some steps going down to it.
It's going to be solid wall and fill the patio.
Yes, fill it with sand so the dry wells under there will work.
That's it for right now, Madam Chair.
Okay, thanks, Jen. Courtney?
No questions.
Thank you. Maureen?
I had a couple questions. I know the easement is on one lot, and then where it makes a little turn into this property, it's on another lot.
Yes.
I don't see where it has an easement on that other lot. The easement line sort of stops, or does that easement go to this lot?
It's this angle, it's like a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
The dashed line. That's the
Okay.
easement line.
So that, the owner of that property knows that easement, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Madam Chair, it's Maureen. I
Oh,
don't mean to
here,
interrupt,
here,
but,
here.
Attorney Ahmed dropped these easement documents off after I requested them.
Oh, okay,
I didn't tell
okay,
him. So
perfect.
maybe if you have
We'll
any
eliminate that.
questions,
Okay,
Okay,
I'm
thank
sure
you.
that's
I'll put
solved.
them into the
I
record.
should have
Sorry.
put that in the
Thank
narrative.
you. Yeah.
about the easement.
Sorry
Yeah,
about that. I
only
should've
because
mentioned
when
that.
you're doing work on other people's lots, you're supposed to have, they're supposed to be included. And without the abutter notification cards. No, I'm only kidding. The next thing is, I noticed that you went to great efforts to save the 12-inch oak. It says protect. But I have a question. The 10-inch oak, which is to the, let's see, where I'm in the, would be the southwest. That one, where you put the dry well literally on it,
Yeah.
is there a reason, are you cutting that 10-inch oak down?
Yes, I didn't mark the trees to be cut down. Basically, everything within the limit of work has got to be cleared out. I mean, that 12-inch oak, I have to do work going around it, because that's only being disturbed through there to run a trench for the water service,
Yep, I see that.
and then it'll be revegetated. And so that's,
So, and then the 18-inch oak that's up by the driveway, which is right on the lot line, which again, I think that's some kind of retaining wall, which is actually quite large, because I think you're at elevation, 13 there?
13.8.
Yeah, so that's like 2.5 foot. But anyway, that 18-inch oak, again, you put the dry well in the driveway, which could be pulled back a little bit, so that 18-inch oak could be saved. I mean, I just feel bad that they're literally, except for the 12-inch one by the water line, and the ones that are on hillside, closest, to the private unbuilt hillside, are gonna be saved, but every single tree on that lot is gonna be removed, am I correct?
Pretty much, yes.
And you didn't tell us how many anythings there are. Some of them don't even have sizes on them. Actually, they do, I'm sorry, they all do. So it just would be nice to know how many caliper inches of oaks we are losing. And I know they're in the B zone, but it's still a substantial amount. There's hundreds of inches of, 18-inch, 10-inch, 10-inch, I mean, it goes on and on. It would be nice just to see if you could save, I understand the one in the patio you can't, the 18-inch oak that's right on your west boundary line. There's an 18-inch oak there, you're not doing much grade changing there, there's no patio,
Well, that's possible. I think I've always heard it here that everything within 10 feet goes, pretty much. I mean, if thought it was practical, it we could try to save that.
not
The
exactly
two
what
along
we
that
said.
west lot line.
Yeah, what we say about the 10 feet is that the mitigation shouldn't be any closer.
Oh, I know that, but I think when.
but an 18-inch
I don't think
healthy
we've ever
oak.
said that everything within 10 feet should be
Well,
cleared.
you like to see a 10-foot, we like to see a 10-foot work limit. Maybe
No.
as a means of pushing a house back, but it's,
Well,
We
what
just
the
don't-
regulations refer to is where the mitigation may go.
Right, and, I mean, that is, 8 feet off, and it's an 18-inch oak. I mean, it's not a little teeny 6-inch or 5-inch oak. I mean, it's a substantial, beautiful oak, so,
yeah.
I mean, like I say, you did a great job protecting the 12-inch one which is literally on the lot line, but that one, you could easily move that limit of work and at least have 2 trees left in the house area.
Yeah, there's, at least one that's on the east lot line that's, fairly close to the east lot line.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like 8 feet away also.
Yeah, and that's a
certainly
6-inch oak, though, not an 18-inch.
Yeah.
It's better than.
But-
I mean, I'd like to see it saved. I mean, it wouldn't take much to just save that one. Well, we can deliberate that.
Right.
It just seems like, honestly, you put every dry well on top of an oak tree.
We need water.
Well, no, they don't need water because you're cutting them down. And the one at the end of like I say, the 18-inch by the driveway, by the corner bound, there's really, for the turnaround for that driveway, it's not significant. I mean, anyway, okay, thank you. It's just an extra parking space, is all that is.
Yeah, it could be shortened there.
204 caliper inches that you're
So
cutting
I'm
down.
just going to remind you, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
it's
all
your
done.
turn, Betsy.
That you're right that you're not required to do any specific mitigation planning if you work in the B zone,
Right.
but there is a requirement to show an improvement. Now, you can't show an improvement when you're going to be doing something that nothing's been done to it before.
Right.
We understand that, but you could lessen the impact, which I think is what Maury is requesting.
Mhm.
And that's my only comment.
And yeah, we could work around some of them near the lot lines.
Great,
Yeah,
good point.
yeah. I mean, you can't do it in the middle of the patio in the house, but, thank you.
That's it.
Yeah, that's my only comment.
All right, Mark?
No comments.
Kevin?
I recognize everyone's hope that you can save as many as oaks as possible, but I don't know how you're going to build it. It's just me. It's a very small lot. Your Hillside Avenue looks nice on paper, but it doesn't exist, so you can't get in from there. So you're going in this little dirt road, and you're relying upon the good graces of the neighbor. So do you know if there's any opposition?
The particular neighbor is here tonight, so he
Okay.
can
Okay.
say what he wants to say.
again, if it would be nice if you could commit to trying to save the oaks. But again, building it there, I think, is going to be a challenge, and I know it's valuable property in that area, but I just don't know if it's, people want to spend the money, it's their money, I guess. I'm fine.
Okay, Peter?
No questions.
Jamie?
Clarification, where the easement comes into this lot, there's existing mitigation from the neighbor's property. Is that gonna be addressed? How is that gonna be addressed?
Well, I'm not sure it's mitigation or it's just planting. I'm not sure mitigation was required when you built the house.
That's my understanding.
I think when whatever's there can certainly be lifted and offered to be placed somewhere else.
Thank you. Paul?
Is there somebody else who wants to speak? Did you want to say something, Bob? All right, why don't you come up and...
Thank you. For your record, I'm Bob Ament, Falmouth attorney, and I represent the Murphys, the owners of the property. So the Murphys, at one time or another, owned all of the property in question. Let's see if I can do this right. Maybe not. Well, anyway, thank you. So they owned this house, and then they bought a bunch of property that went farther down the streets. And they sold these properties off. So when I wrote a note to Jen today, I described the easements as being well documented, and I thought afterwards I should have chosen very carefully documented. This whole reservation of the rights to come in here and to get the water through here was carefully thought out, and we've provided you with the paperwork. In fact, not only do we have the easements that we've given you, it's actually a driveway maintenance agreement entered into between the owners of this property and the Murphys. It's on the record, and it has to do with the maintenance of this road. So one of the board members referred to the kindness of the neighbors as allowing this. In fact, those documents were very carefully prepared and put on record prior to deeding out the property. We also dealt with the building commissioner before then to make sure that this lot was eligible for a building permit, which it is, and there's an appropriate covenant signed by the building commissioner on record at the registry of deeds. So this is a very small lot. It's sort of, to build a house on this is sort of shoehorning it in, but we think it meets the regulations, and it's been intended for this use. You know, it's a 1898 lot shown on an 1898 plan, and but it's still eligible for a building permit. I hope that Tom can save the tree that's over here. There's reference to this area over here as being just an extra parking space. But given the size of this lot, the fact that you know, we can't park in the driveway, which is shared and used by other people, that's a pretty important spot, I think. And I think the effort should be made to save this tree, but I'm concerned about a requirement to save this tree. I appreciate what Betsy had to say about, you know, how do you improve environmentally situation when you're building on a lot that you're entitled to build on, which is presently undeveloped. But the lot coverage requirements are strict, both by structures and by the paving and parking It's a tight spot. Having that extra space to put a guest's car is really important. And I would, if we meet the regulations, I think that the plan should be approved without requiring that one to be removed. I think, I guess we could keep that big tree on the west side. Thanks.
Thanks, Bob. Anything else?
Through you
Yes.
to Bob. Bob, what is the maximum lot coverage?
40%.
Is it 40%?
40%.
By,
By structures, I think it's 20%.
Okay.
And 40% by,
Structures and
It's
parking
40.
and paving, it's 40%.
okay, just want to clarify, because it's 19.56, so, yeah, so it's close.
Well,
It's tight.
a-
Yeah.
It's tight.
It's tight. Thank you.
it's pretty small. It's only a little bit-
Jen,
I want to know how many bedrooms, I missed that, Tom, I'm sorry.
It's going to be Seward.
I didn't say it. They limited to 3 bedrooms in the Seward area.
It's 3 bedrooms, okay.
Jen, what do you think of the prospects of saving trees other than the one that Bob carved out? Do you think that's realistic or not realistic?
I don't know, I'd have to go back out and build. The problem is the root systems.
Mm-hmm.
When you, I mean, I'd love to say the 18-inch oak.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're realistically going to be able to, given that, they have to build a structure, it's going to be elevated, and you're going to be pruning those limbs and damaging that root system, so I don't know. I don't,
Okay.
Can we
Yeah.
discuss that
I
in
mean, they can
deliberation?
try, but realistically, they're going to have to prune it. I'd have to go back out there and stand under it, go look up again
Yeah.
and see.
I'm thinking of having a condition where you would,
I mean,
before work
basically
starts,
what
you
we
would
do-
go with the
Yeah.
applicant and discuss it and make a recommendation.
I mean, but all we're gonna do is like stand right next to that tree and look up and say, is the house going to interfere with that? Are they gonna be able to build a house? Are they gonna have to prune it?
Madam Chair, on Snug Harbor Lane, there was a garage addition that Warwick did, and it was a 22-inch oak, and I remember it clearly. And they were 2.5 feet off the root, off the trunk of that tree. And it's still there, and the garage is there, and it's still there, and it's actually beautiful, and they were really happy that it didn't get cut down, because it made a pretty canopy over the house, so.
Okay, I can condition it, go out there and try to say that,
Yeah.
that's fine with me.
I'm not sure if you heard what I had to say, because I think you were conferring at the time. Did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I'd like, I'd be happy if we could save some trees, but I agree with you that you're within your rights. And
hear
so
that
the
part.
idea I had was maybe to have a condition that you all meet with Jen before work starts, and she can tell us what she thinks about the prospects.
I think that's fine. I was also thinking, though it's another expense, that it might be one we could consult with an arborist. And what I was talking with Tom about was whether it was possible on the south side of the property, in here or even along this line, whether there's a possibility of doing any plantings there, putting in some new trees. Tom's response was he thought that the canopy, especially in that southern part, might be so
Dense.
full that
Yeah.
he couldn't plant anything, which is
It wouldn't
sort of a
survive.
response to say,
Yeah.
there are a lot of trees there.
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't plant a tree in the
Okay.
forest.
I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing and take it under advisement.
Second.
Okay, anything else from anyone? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, so moved.
Merry Christmas, to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
No coal order tonight.
Yes,
Happy Hanukkah.
pardon?
Did you ask for?
I did earlier.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if they're, I guess they're not here for this hearing, but Bob,
She's next door.
yeah, but
No, that woman,
Oh, they're the
that couple,
neighbors.
they live next door.
okay. Well, I did ask.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Now, so this request, the ANRAD request has been continued to January 17th. So we are down to our one application where we vote in order tonight, Lot 673 West Avenue, New Silver Beach Improvement Association.
It's everybody.
And Betsy says everyone is on the quorum.
It was last week.
Yep.
I remember seeing all
All
of you
of us
last
were
week.
here except for
Yes.
Peter. He was here, but now he's not.
Peter was here, no, Steve.
I mean, Steve, I'm sorry, Steve. And Mary.
This was
I'm not
just
married,
the
so-
redoing of the
Yeah,
The,
tennis court.
tennis court. And the only question was, can they remove the shed and move it over out of the,
Yep.
Right.
move the existing shed out of the zone?
That's going to be conditioned.
Yeah, no condition.
Yeah.
They have plenty of room down there.
Yeah.
They really do. I think that was the only issue.
That was the only
It's very
issue.
straightforward.
I move that we accept as discussed.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? So moved.
You guys, one quick thing, since you posed the hearing tonight, we have to have a special meeting to vote it, because we don't meet again until the 10th. Yay for us.
Can we vote it now? It's pretty simple.
Can we vote it?
We just want the condition that Mary just stated.
Yeah.
Can we vote now?
No, because it wasn't advertised to be voted.
Huh?
It wasn't advertised to be voted. You can't take a vote unless it's advertised 48 hours prior to the hearing.
Okay, that's all right.
Aren't you just a wet blanket?
I am. I'm sorry. I get cold. Look at all the looks I'm getting over here. Wow.
We have to play by the rules? Come on. Okay.
All right, so what are
when's
our
yeah,
options, Jen?
Sorry.
Other commissions,
Nasty.
Monday morning?
commissions in other towns. vote
Yeah,
on the
let's
same
do
day.
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah,
Oh, Monday. Yeah, that's a good,
Monday I'm available.
yeah, me too. I'll come back from California just for the vote.
Christmas Day. Who gave us this? Who gave us cookies? Mary gave us cookies. Bring them home and share them with
Is this
us.
the kind that I like?
It is.
I request.
There's some other little treats at the bottom. If you do that, they're gonna be broken.
Oh,
They don't taste the same when they're broken.
they don't.
The flavor seeps out.
Kevin, Courtney, Betsy, Maureen.
What?
I can
Just
come
come
in.
in real quick in the afternoon sometime, the week of, after Christmas week, we could do Tuesday the 2nd.
Oh, you mean after New Year's?
Yeah, hang on, so.
I have something on my, something I have to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to come in the week after New Year's, you can schedule it. I mean, I have to be here Tuesday and then to do the Board of Selectmen's meeting Tuesday night.
Don't you work
so-
Tuesdays?
Yeah, I do.
Is
You're-
Tuesday
you're
the
looking at
2nd,
us.
is that what you're saying? I
Yeah,
thought,
Tuesday the 2nd or.
Is this something we're supposed to be at, too?
No,
Oh.
no, you don't have to do that.
I know I don't have January with me. I know I have something on Tuesday the 2nd. I would have to work around it.
We can just, why doesn't,
We don't need everybody.
we
We
can
only
send
need
out
4 of
a-
us.
We can send out a couple of days of like a little
Yeah.
doodle poll or something. I'll have Courtney sending out. You guys let me know what's good for you.
Perfect.
I don't need all of you. I need 4 to vote the quorum, but
Yep.
if all of you would like to come, you're more than welcome.
Well, of course
It's
we'll
great
come in
at
and
7
see you.
a.m.
I know, I'll be
It's
here.
usually coffee and donuts.
Yeah. So,
I think she's saying in the afternoon.
well, I mean, usually we do it like really early in the morning.
That's because people are working.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
in the,
So we'll send out a little doodle thing, and you guys let us know when you can come, and we'll advertise it. I wish I
Are
could
you
go to
familiar,
the
are you guys familiar with that?
Good, but I
We
can't.
could wrap up the whole year tonight.
Doodle
No,
poll?
we can do it.
It's a great tool.
Just to
We were
confirm,
close,
the
that's only
next
one
meeting,
outstanding, that's pretty darn
Regular
good.
meeting is.
January 10th.
10th.
January 10th.
But then it's too late for that order.
Yes.
I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Merry Christmas,
Unanimous?
everybody.
So moved.
Everyone.
Merry Christmas and Happy